Good evening, good evening. Glad you can join me. It's a little 5 after 6. So as people come in, I will let them in. Hopefully, Darlene, your friends come to the session. Um, so, and what's your name? You said asthma, right? This is your first evening here. So let's get it started by asking you a question. What concept have you been working on for the GED that gives you the most problems? Good evening. How are you? Asthma, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I have struggling with the geometry. Geometry. Yes,
Geometry. So you're talking
yes.
about volume, surface area, what?
Yes, that's my hardest part.
So first of all, understand. Let's see. Uh, one of the almost every exam will have some type of geometry. So the most missed questions are compute the area and circumference of circles, find the radius or diameter of a circle when given the area and circumference. Compute the perimeter of an area of polygons, find the lengths of a polygon when given the perimeter. Compute the perimeter area of two-dimensional composite shapes, which include circles, right? Also included in geometry is volume. So which one do you want me to go over? Which one do you want me to go over?
The volume.
Volume problems. Okay, let me open up the study guide here. Where'd you go? There we go. Volume problems. Okay, so what shapes are you familiar with that you're going to get volume on? Do you know?
I can work on the square.
Well, a square is two-dimensional. So that's the
Yes.
first thing. So let me explain to you the differences, okay? Area is two dimensions, okay? So you only got a length and a width or a base and a height. Volume is the capacity, how much something holds, and that's three-dimensional, a length, width, and a height. So it's that third dimension, that height is it tells you the volume. So first of all, let's look at a common question. First of all, if you want to talk about area in two dimensions, I think everybody know how to do area, right? So it's length times width, right? But what you also have to understand is all of those are related. So let me show you what I'm talking about here, because you might not understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to explain it to you, right? So if I got a rectangle, right, in order to find the area of a rectangle is length times width. Area equal length times width, right? Most people know that. Okay, so when we talk about a triangle, okay, if I draw this here and I draw a triangle, what you realize is that a triangle is half of a rectangle. So the area of a triangle is one half base times height. Oh, Mr. Tinsley, where did they get the base from? Where did they get the height from? The base is here. Just another variable used instead of width. Your height is here. So if you think of your length and width as base and your height, then your parallelogram, and this is a bad drawing, right? That's your height, that's your base. So area is pretty easy. But guess what? They're not going to give you a common area problem. They're not. What they're going to ask you is something like this. A rectangle has an area of 54 square inches and a length of 6 inches. What is the width in inches of the triangle? Algebraically, you will go to your formula sheet and you will look on your formula sheet and it will tell you that area is length times width. You identify your givens. Your area is 54, your length is 9. You substitute those in. 54 equals 6 times W. This now becomes a one-step algebraic equation. Divide both sides by 6. W equal
9.
9. Now, the common sense way is okay. Well, I know I got to multiply my length by my width. Well, they're asking me for my width. So I need to multiply each of these until I get 54. Well, I know 6 times 48 is not 54. I know 6 times 24 is not 54. I know 6 times 21 is not 54. No algebra, I'm done. That's no algebra at all, and you're done. Now, but you might also get a composite shape, something like this. They love composite shapes. Statistic, what is a composite shape? A composite shape is one shape, right, that can be broken down into several different shapes. So once you understand the meaning, you could have this, a rectangle with a half circle. You could have a rectangle and a triangle. So all you're doing when they give you a composite shape is that you're breaking down into multiple shapes and find the area of each one of those shapes. So I'm going to put the multiple choice answers on the left so we can make this bigger. So our multiple choice answers are 4,400, 5,200, 5,600, and 8,000. So let me ask you a question. How do you think you would do this problem? So if you got this problem on the GED, so one of the things I want to let you know also is that the GED ready exams are past questions from previous exams. So when you take the GED ready exam, you are answering questions that were on a previous test. So how would I find the area of this shape? How would I find the area of this shape? Do you have any idea? I'm going to show you two different ways. The first way is to say, okay, what will be the area if I took this whole thing right here? If I found the area of this whole rectangle here, that would be 80 times 100. That's 8 times 1 is 8. And then we got 3 zeros. So I know it would be 8,000, right? But I don't have this piece here. So automatically you know it can't be 8,000. It has to be smaller. So I look at this, the size of this, 60 by 60. That's 3,600. So if I subtract that from 8,000, I get 4,400. My answer is A. That's the easy way to do it. To notice that, okay, I got one big shape that's missing smaller shape. So I'm going to take the area of the bigger shape and subtract subtract the smaller shape, and I got my answer. Another way that you could have done it was like I said previously. We're going to look at this as two smaller shapes. And what happens is I'm going to use two different colors. I'm going to use a blue and a red. Okay. So the first thing you're going to notice is you have one rectangle right here. And then I'm going to change the color. And you have one rectangle right here. That's not hard, right? So, okay, so let's find what will be the area of the first rectangle, the red. So we know the length is 80, and we have to multiply that by the width, which is here. But we don't know what that, oops, let me change that back to red. Use the red. Change that back to 80 times, and we're looking for this right here. But we don't know that. But we do know from here to here is 100. So how do we find what this is? Well, you should notice or observe that from here to here is 60. So if here to here from 60, what's this piece going to be? 40. So the area of this first rectangle is 3,200. 8 times 4 is 32. I got 2 zeros. Now we look at the second shape. Let me change my second, change the blue. We know that the length is 60. So it's 60 by, we're looking for this length right here. So we know from here to here is 80. Here to here is 60. So we need this little piece right here. So we're going to subtract. 80 minus 60 is 20. So we know this rectangle here is 60 by 20. 6 times 2 is 12 with 2 zeros. So the area of this, the area of this rectangle is 1,200. The area of this is 3,200. We add both of them together, and we got the same answer previously, 4,400. So that way I showed you just two different ways to find the area of a composite shape. You understand that? Everybody good? Okay, good.
Yes, so far for me.
Now, this you talk about geometry. Here's another geometry problem. Okay. Area, circumference, radius, and diameter of a circle. Greg installed a circular drain that has a diameter of 4.8 inches. To the nearest tenth, let me write the answers down again. 7.5, 15.1, 18.1, 30.1. So that way I can make this nice and big. We can see it nice and clear. Okay. To the nearest tenth of an inch, what is the circumference? What, Mr. What? Where do I even start? Do you know where? How do I start this problem? How do I start this problem? So if I asked you how to start this problem, what would you say? It doesn't matter who answers. How would you start this problem?
With the formula?
You could start with the formula. What formula? Well, what I would say is you. Let's pause before we say formula. First thing I would do is identify my givens. First of all, I know it's a circular drain. That's a circle. I know my diameter is 4.8. So I know my diameter is 4.8. I know I'm talking about a circle. That's the first thing I would do. So you said get my formula. So how do you know what formula? So if you look at the question, it's asking you what is the circumference of the drain. So if we go to our formula sheet, again, your formula sheet is your friend. Okay? Where's my formula sheet? I thought I had it. The circumference of a circle. So we got two formulas here. C equal 2 pi r, which is 2 times pi times the radius, or pi times d, just pi times the diameter. They tell you here pi is 3.14. They gave you almost everything you need to know. So let's go back to that problem. What formula do you think we're going to use? Are we going to use the 2 pi r, or we use the pi times d? What formula do you think we're going to use, or should we use? What formula should we use?
The pi times t.
Okay, C equal pi times d. They said pi was 3.14. When you have two variables next to each other, that's telling you you need to multiply. And what is your diameter?
4.8.
4.8. So you just grab your calculator and it's your best friend. 3.14 in parentheses 4.8. The answer we got was 15 0.07. But that's none of the multiple choice answers. Why? Because it says to the nearest 10th. Well, that's easy. There's only one problem with the whole number 15. There's only one answer with the whole number 15. But if we were to have to round, the 10th place is the 0. We look at the number to the right. If that's 5 or above, that place goes up by 1. So 0 goes up to 1, goes up 1. So my answer is 15. Understand? Okay. Good. All right. So I'm gonna throw you a little tailspin. Let me see if I can find a problem from my website. Let me see if I can find a problem from my site. Let me find volume right here. Okay, let's go to volume and surface area here. Now, this site that you're going to see is a free site that I created. I made it grab questions from a bunch of different places. Um, but let's see if we can find a nice question. So I created this site to help you um, with the issue of word problems. So let's find a nice question with a nice diagram. Let's see if we can find a nice volume question. So if you notice, all these don't have a diagram. I'm looking for one with a diagram. Let's see if we can. So you have to remember for volume, you have to be familiar with a rectangular prism. You have to be familiar with a cylinder. You have to be familiar with a pyramid. You have to be familiar with a cube, which is also a rectangular prism, and missing one, a sphere. So you know what? I got a good one that's a sphere right on that study guide. Hopefully, I can find one with it. I should have just went to edit and went. So again, this is a free website. Have all the questions you want. If you notice, I got a bunch of different word problems. I ask you in different ways so you can practice, right? Um, on this site, I also got CK12 and Khan Academy problems so you can practice. So you don't have to go anywhere else to make sure that see if you're ready or not. Each one has a pre-test. So let me go back to my study guide. I think I had one for a sphere. Let's see. Here we go, right there. Now, and what I like about this study guide is from GED. So they're letting you know the type of questions you can expect. So when I look at this question, it says a sphere has a radius of 7.5 to the nearest cubic centimeter. What is the volume of the sphere? Can anybody tell me how you would start this program? Start this problem. How would I start this problem? A sphere has a radius of 7.5 centimeters to the nearest cubic centimeter. What is the volume of the sphere? Can anybody tell me what I should do first?
First, we identify what we have.
First of all, identify your givens. What do we know?
We have the radius, that's 7.5.
So we know our radius is 7.5 centimeters. Okay. That's basically what they gave us, right? But what they also gave us was very important
The
is
shape.
the shape. So we're going to go to our formula sheet, but what they also gave us is what they want to know. So identify the shape, which is a sphere. Identify what they gave us, the radius is 7.5, and identify what they want to know, the volume of a sphere. So we're going to go to our formula sheet. Again, every time you practice for GED math, you should have three things out: scrap paper, your calculator, and your formula sheet. You should not be sitting down at your table to study without those three things. So if you notice, I've been tutoring pre-calculus and calculus too. So there's my formula sheet. I find my sphere. I want to find the volume of a sphere, not the surface area, the volume. So my formula is 4/3 pi r to the third. I didn't do anything. All I did was identify my givens, go to my formula sheet to get my formula, and now all I'm going to do is plug into my calculator. This is not a hard problem. Matter of fact, this is probably one of the easier questions because it's so straightforward. So I'm going to grab my calculator. I know what my formula is. I'm going to hit ND. 4 is my numerator. Hit my down arrow. 3 is my denominator. I'm going to hit my right arrow to move out of the fraction, 4/3. Can anybody tell me what pi is? What value is pi?
3.14.
3.14. Why did I include 3.14 in parentheses? Why did I include 3.14 in parentheses?
Because multiply.
Because I'm going to multiply. Now, r to the third. What is r to the third? Again, 7.5. Our radius is 7.5. They gave it to us. How do you raise to a power on this calculator? You hit the caret, raise to the third power, hit my right arrow to get out of my exponent, press enter. Easy money. That is not a hard problem. 1766. Save this. Minimize my calculator. So, round it to the nearest cubic centimeter. Well, this is not a hard problem. There's only one answer near 1766. Done. I can guarantee you, you're going to have a volume problem. I can guarantee you're going to have an area problem. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So you have to be ready for it. All right, what's next? Any other questions? Any other concept that you want to go over?
Mr. Tinley, I just need some help to clear my calculator.
How to clear it?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do is, if you notice, see it says green, it says reset. Hit second and hit reset. Hit yes. That'll clear everything out. Your calculator is your best friend for your GED exam. It is literally your best friend. The most difficult problems can be done in less than 1 minute. And I show you all the directions in my ebook. But this calculator for the GED is your friend. Why? Because find an equation of a line from 2 points. Find an equation of a perpendicular parallel line using the calculator. I show you these problems easy and fast. So let me ask you a question. Since we're on questions like the GED, let me ask you a question. How would I do this problem here? Mean, median are on every single math exam. Mean and median are on every single science exam. Mean and median is on every single social study exam. So, if I come across this question, a manager of an apartment complex ordered the air conditioners in the apartments to be replaced. The list shows how many years each air conditioner had been in service. What is the median number of years that an air conditioner had been in service? How would you do this problem? Can anybody tell me, first of all, you're talking about statistics. What does median mean? So what common word you hear median should you think of? Does anybody know?
Can I try?
Nope.
Medium
So
is the sum of all the numbers divided by how many numbers there are.
that is the mean. So the mean is your average.
Oh, sorry. So first we need to arrange these numbers.
So median is the middle. So you're right. We must put these in order. What's going to be the first number?
11.9.
11 point.
9.
Nope.
11.8.
11.8. What's next?
11.9,
What's next?
11.9,
If you notice, as I'm rearranging these numbers, I am crossing the ones that I've already used. So I won't make any mistakes because there might be duplicates. You don't want to miss one. So 11.9, 11.9, what's next?
12.2,
12.2,
12.3,
12.3,
12.9,
12.9,
13.3,
out of room here, 13.3,
13.4,
13.4,
13.6,
I'm running out of room, 13.6,
13.7.
13.7. Okay, so let me move this real quick so we can put them in order. I love technology because I can just move these numbers over. Now, so now, if you want me to put commas in between them, I can, but I don't really need to. How do I find the middle? So how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, oh, that's easy. The middle number, half of 10 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the right answer?
No,
No. Okay. No. That's the most common mistake people make to find a median. If you have an even amount of values, you want to take the 2 in the middle. So what that means is visually, I should have the same number of numbers on the left, values on the left, and I should have the same number of values on the right. So when I take my 2 numbers in the middle, there should be 4 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 numbers on the left, 4 numbers on the right. These are my 2 middle numbers. So now, but hold on. How do I find the middle if I got 2 numbers? What do I need to do to those 2 numbers?
you add them together and then divide by 2.
I add them 2 together. I get 25.2, right?
Yeah.
So 9 plus 3 is 12. Put down your 2, carry 1. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I did it in my head, mental math, 25.2. And then what am I going to do?
You divide it by 2.
I divide it by 2. So 25.2 divided by 2, you get 1, 2. Bring your decimal up, 6. Now, I wouldn't do now. We got 12.6. I wouldn't do it that way. Okay? This is what I would have done. I wouldn't even waste my time. I'm going to grab my calculator. I'm going to hit data. And then I'm going to put my numbers in now. It doesn't matter what order, but let me move this so I can put them all in. So I'm going to go here first. Watch this. 12.2, enter. 13.7, enter. 11.9, enter. 13.4, enter. 11.9, enter. I got to move this a little bit. Let me see over here. 12.3, enter. 12.9, enter. 11.8, enter. 13.3, enter. 13.6, enter. I didn't do anything. All I did, go to data and input my numbers. Watch this. Second, data. We have one column, one variable. Calculate. I'm looking for MED. So, first of all, let me make this nice and big for you. Let me turn my pen to red. This is my average right there. So my mean is 12.7. I didn't do anything. I didn't sum them up. I didn't divide. It's done for me. All I need to learn how is to put them in. Now, let me scroll down so I find CMED. I didn't do any work. My median is 12.6. Easy. So learning, and this is all the tips I show you in the ebook, how to do these problems fast and accurate in less than 1 minute. Instead of wasting time putting all these numbers in order, then adding the numbers and dividing by 2, I could just plug them in and it finds the median for me. I think that's much easier. All right, what's next? What do you have for me next? So we just talked about mean is the average, median is the middle. Okay, and mean and median be on your math, your science, and your social studies exam. Guarantee you. Guarantee. So you have to know mean and median. All right, what's next? So we talked about area. We talked about volume. Again, using your formula sheet to identify your givens, go back to your formula sheet. So anything that they give you, look, you got the volume. Rectangular prism, length times width times height. Right prism, base times height. Cylinder, pi r squared h. Pyramid, base times height divided by 3. Cone, pi r squared h divided by 3. Sphere, 4/3 pi to the third. They give you all the formulas. Identify your givens, plug them in. Plug them in. You have no problem at all. All right, what's next? What is next? What is next?
Haley was highly
Say that again.
I still didn't get it.
Get what?
I pressed reset second and then enter. And it didn't budge.
Guilty of killing two
Hold on.
teenage girls.
So second, I didn't say second and enter. It's second,
Then,
hit 0.
okay.
It says reset. And 0. You should see reset. You see reset on your screen? Do you see reset on your screen?
No.
So you hit second and then 0.
Alan appeared stoic.
Okay.
Behind him, his family wept. On the other
Second,
side of the courtroom,
0.
the families of the 2 murdered teenagers cried and embraced one another.
Yes.
Indianapolis defense attorney John Hopkins followed the
Then
case.
hit yes.
I thought there was a fair amount.
You should see memory clear. Yeah, so what you're going to have to do in order to get those questions on my website, you have to send an email
Eighth graders
to my email address. So if you put your email address in the chat,
spotted someone. Liberty.
I'll be able to send you a message, and then I'll send the invitation. It's going to come from Canvas. It's not going to come from me. I created this course in Canvas. So one of the things about the oops, that didn't mean to show my email. Hold on.
It took 5 years for authority.
Where is it?
He had been working pharmacy in the town the whole time.
So you're gonna have to mute yourself. Hold on. So one of the things I can show you is that no matter what, make this a little bit smaller here, back to 100. Okay. Everything you're looking for has a pretest. You score 70 or 80 or above, I would rather you have an 80. Move on to the next section. Don't even waste your time. Absolute value and sign numbers, decimals, fractions. I don't know why my mouse is acting up, but hold on, let me go slow. Ratio and proportions, percents, exponents, probability, area and perimeter, volume and surface area, mean, median, mode, and range, tables, charts, and graphs, angles, triangles, algebra, linear equations, system of equations, quadratic equations. But the most important thing that I would say from this site that you're going to use, and again, you can use your pretest. I got practice GED exams. They're like real exams. So when you open up the ones with feedback, after you're done. So let me explain to you. So again, this says 43 points. So this is really like a GED exam. It's 43 questions long. And it has a number of different questions. Okay. Look at that. Well, you got to use the distributive property, combining like terms. Evaluation. Okay. So I try to create practice GED exams like you would see in a real exam. And I have a bunch of them. I have, I think, 14 or 15. Now, I'm not, I honest to God, I wouldn't tell you to do all 15. My advice to you would be to take the first GED exam with feedback. So let me show you what I mean by feedback. Okay. So let me show you what I mean by feedback. When you take exam with feedback, after you have finished the exam, what I've done is I've either in text or a video, I explain how to do the problem. So let me show you. Let's look at this one right here. I'm gonna edit it. So with feedback, it's very important that you understand that if you go through this practice test and you get a problem incorrect, I explain to you in text how to do the problem step by step, but I also give you a video to walk you through how to do the problem. Then, after you go through these videos, after you go through the feedback, you take the exam again. You should increase your score by like 15 to 20 points. Once you have over a 70 or 80 in that question with the feedback, you're then going to move to the next GED practice exam. Again, if the exam is 20 questions, that's half of a GED real test. So you're looking for questions, or you're looking for an exam that is 40, 35 to 45 questions. These exams are also timed. We'll have 2 hours to take them, just like the real exam. So look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5. How many do I have? 14. Algebraic reasoning. So 12 points, 33, 29, 52. So that's a full test. 40, full test. 46, full test. 43, full test. 45, full test. That's a half a test. It's only 14. 21, half a test. 29 in the middle. So again, you have enough here that as you work through these problems, and even if you take the GED ready test, say you take the GED ready test, you're not ready to take one of my practice exams, but it tells you you need help with linear equations. You go to the section that linear equations. You take the pretest. See where you are, what you know and you don't know. And look at all the practice you have. So every question that they could ask you on the GED, what is the ordered pair? Graph it. What's the slope intercept form? What's the standard form? What's the equation in the line? Here go word problems. Then you have additional assessments, comparing 2 different sources, parallel and perpendicular lines, linear equation, word problems. So when you have your practice test and it tells you what areas that you need to work on, you could come to my site, practice all you want. So the CK12 is a lovely question. Is it lovely? So if I wanted to say parallel and perpendicular lines, where are you? Equations of parallel lines practice, equations of perpendicular lines. I could go here. I can load up the assessment. Now, CK12 is an outside free resource. So if you have a Gmail account, you can quickly make an account by logging in with your Google account. So you don't have to remember the username and password. If you have a Gmail account, use CK12 and sign in. And then you got all the practice you want. And what I like about CK12 is it has levels. So when you start CK12, it has to be determined. And as you get questions right, it will change your skill level, beginning, exploring, developing, proficient, mastery. For the GED, you can go up to proficient. If you want to test yourself, you can go mastery. So on a question like this, for the following equation, find a line perpendicular to it through the given point. Does anybody know how to do this problem? Does anybody know even how to start this problem? Does anybody know? Okay. This question is a 5-second problem. Because first of all, it is in slope-intercept form, which is y equal mx plus b. It says y equal 3/5 x minus 4. So it's very easy to find the slope. The slope is 3/5. The y-intercept is minus 4. So my slope is 3/5. That's my slope. It's easy. My y-intercept is minus 4. So the second thing you must know is a perpendicular line has the negative inverse slope. The slope is the negative inverse. So if my slope is 3/5, the negative inverse. So if it's positive, that means my slope of the perpendicular is negative. And I flip it. So 3/5 becomes 5/3. So I'm looking for the equation that has a slope of negative 5/3. I'm done. That easy. It looks like a difficult problem. It is not. Watch this. I'm going to prove it to you. Boop. That easy. So this is the amount of practice that I have on this site. So I got CK12, I got Khan Academy, and I have my own assessments that I created. There's nothing that you should have to go to another site to prepare for your GED math exam and pass it. You don't have to go anywhere else. Now, what should you have? Your scrap paper, your formula sheet, and your calculator. So on my YouTube channel, I got a list of videos of the most commonly missed questions. But again, everything, all the practice you want. Look at that linear equation video right from my site. Anything that you need to know how to do is right here. And then you can practice the GED. And my GED test, so most people, when they take my practice GEDs, once they score over 60 consistently, they go on exam and pass it easily. Okay, so these are all the things. Look, I got all, listen, quadratic equations. There's your pretest. If you don't know how to do something, if you don't understand, have to go to class, I got a textbook lesson right here. All you got to do is open it up and we'll explain to you, depending upon what type of learner you are, right? Watch this. Depending upon what type of learner you, so you can read it like a textbook, but I also have videos inside the textbook lessons. There are videos inside the textbook lessons. Look at that. Let me make this smaller. Back down to 100%. Look at that. It explains to you everything you need to know how to do. Factoring a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation has the form ax squared plus bx plus c. It is telling you everything you need. Hold on, let me get rid of the helper here. Let me close him up real quick. Look at that. There's a video to help you. They explain it to you. Look at that. And then right here, they're giving you practice. So when you're finished, they're giving you practice. And then if you don't understand it, You can come on Monday and say, Mr. Jeremy, I don't know. Please show me. And I'll show you an easier way. But everything you need is right here. There's nothing that's on this GED exam that's not in my course. So I just got your email. Thank you. I'll make sure. Matter of fact, let me save it right now. Let me add you to my class list. So from now on, also what you'll do is you'll also get a email every week reminding you of class. And once you finish, you'll say, Mr. Tinsley, I don't need your emails anymore. But what I like about this site is whether you're going for the TEAS tests, whether you're going for college, you can use my site as long as you need it. I have about 6 people that's using my site for that college algebra class. I have about 2 people using it for that TEAS test, the nursing exam. Okay, so just because you've passed your GED, you can still use it afterwards. Any questions before we leave this evening? I'm gonna add you to my contacts right now. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Oops, that is the wrong email. Maybe I picked the right email. Again, my goal is to help each of you pass your math exam in the shortest amount of time period. But what I need from you is I need consistent effort. Consistent effort. I would say if you're having troubles with math, I would say the minimum that you should be studying math every day to pass your math exam is about a half an hour to an hour every day. If you can do an hour every day, I can tell you in 30 days you can pass your exam using my ebook and learn how to use the calculator. Can almost guarantee. Can almost guarantee. So let me add you to my contacts, and you can expect usually invitations for Canvas go out in the morning. I have already going out automatically now. So when I put in the list, um, send them out in the morning. If you don't receive an email tomorrow, just let me know and I'll check for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions before we leave this evening? Believe that was a fast hour, right? That went very quick. That went very quickly. Any questions before we leave this evening? Any last questions before we leave this? Let me put my study guide back up. Oh, I see a question pop up. Yes, you can work. So it's any question that you need. So if you, as you're working through the week and you're going over different problems, anything. So first of all, even before, once you receive my email, right? If you have a question, I don't want you waiting until next Monday. You want to send me a email, say, Mr. Tinsley, how do you do this? Don't wait till next Monday. But if you have a concept that you don't understand or you want to go over a question that you keep getting incorrect when you try it, you can wait till Monday or you can send me an image of the problem. I can either answer through email or I can wait till Monday and GED Math Mondays and I can show you how to do it. So yes, so you don't have to, these sessions are open to what you need. I don't go have a specific order. Whatever questions you have for that evening is what I go over. Okay. Any last questions before I was trying to find my study guide. I've been tutoring all week. Pre-calculus, calculus, college algebra. I've been busy. So you see all the stuff I have open. Where's my
Can you word problem?
say it again?
Word problem.
Word problem. So
Yeah.
what type of word problem? So all of these, like in this study guide here, these are all word problems. So for example, let's go to one a lot of people. This one right here. Is a word problem. A painter uses the expression 35H plus 30C to determine how much he charges a customer for a job that takes H hours and C cans of paint. His last job required 3 cans of paint and took 15 hours to complete. How much did the painter charge? So what I first told you is when you're solving a word problem, you should be identifying your givens. You should be identifying any formula that you need to use or expression you need to use, and then you should be using your calculator if possible. So let's identify our givens. What do we know from this word problem? What do we know from this word problem?
He gave me expression
They gave you an expression, 35H plus 30C. Well, I don't know what H and C stand for. Did they give us that?
and required 3 coin.
His last job required 3 cans of paint. And what
And
else?
50 hour.
And 15 hours complete. But what we also need is that H stands for hours and C is the cans of paint. Did they give us that already? Do we know what C is? Do we know what C is? How
No.
many? Yes, we do. They gave it to us. His
Okay.
last job required 3 cans of paint and took 15 hours. Do we know the number of cans that he used? Do we know what C is?
3.
3. Do we know what H is?
50 hours.
15 hours. So all we're going to do, remember what I said, identify your givens, identify expression or formula you're going to use, and if possible, plug into the calculator. So watch this. That's all I'm going to do. Every time when you come here to these sessions, you're going to see me plugging into the calculator. Watch this. 35 times H, I'm going to use parentheses, plus 30 times C, which is 3. I'm done. Look how easy that problem became. That's an easy problem. I'm done. That word problem, that difficult word problem, became an easy word problem because you identify your givens, identify every expression or formula you need to use, and try to use the calculator to plug it in. That's almost every word problem. That's almost every single word problem. Let's see if we can find another one real quick before we leave. Look at this word problem. A rental company carries tables that seat 2, 4, and 8 people. For a wedding, a customer orders X tables that seat 2 people, Y tables that seat 4 people, Z tables that seat 8 people. What expression represents the number of people who could be seated at the tables that the customer ordered? Oh my God, this is so hard. I don't know where to start. That's the problem, the mistake that people make. They read the problem and they get anxious, they get frustrated. Identify your givens. X tables that seat 2 people. Y tables that seat 4 people. Z tables that seat 8 people. Mr. Tinsley, I hate variables. Oh my God. So use common sense. If I had 2 tables with 2 people, how many people are at that table? If I had, no, let's use 3 tables. If I had 3 tables that seat 2 people, how many people do I have at that table? If I had 3 tables that seat 2 people, how many people are at that table? I got 3 tables that seat 2 people. How many people do I have?
6.
6. So 3 tables, 1, 2, 3. I got 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's multiplication. When you add the same number multiple times, that's multiplication. So now, by using an actual number, you notice that the operation that you must use is multiplication. So, that tells you this is 2x. This is 4y. This is 8z. Am I going to multiply, add? What am I going to do to these? So if I have 6 people here, 8 people here, and 16 people here, how am I going to find out how many people What am I going to do to those expressions? Am I adding, multiplying, or what am I doing?
Add.
Adding them. Bang, bang, bang. I'm done. Easy problem. So what we did was that we identified our givens. Sometimes word problems confuse us. Variables confuse us. Throw a number in there. So you can see that if I had 3 tables with 2 people, that would be 6. I know I'm multiplying those two numbers. That makes that problem much easier. Don't let the word problems consume you. Don't let the word problems confuse you. Don't let the word problems frustrate you. That's why you use my free site to work as many word problems as you can. So when you get to the actual exam, you won't feel anxious. You won't be frustrated. You'll know, oh, identify my givens, what formula I need, plug into my formula using my calculator. And if you do that on a regular basis, when you get to your exam, it won't be any problems. You'll pass with flying colors. Okay? So listen, it's already 7 o'clock. I hope to see you next Monday. I hope you invite your friends. I hope you, when you schedule for your exam, if you purchase the ebook, I'll do a one-on-one session with you before you take your exam. So if you purchase the ebook before you take your exam, you contact me, say when you're scheduled, I'll do a one-on-one session with you. Everybody have a wonderful night.
Mr. Tinley, you know, read work. I'm still having problem getting in. I don't know why.
So just go to ReadWorks, log in with your Gmail.
Nowhere.
I did. I tried to do that.